Things just took a shocking turn for the Los Angeles Lakers as we have multiple huge Lakers updates to go over today. And as reports continue to really pick up surrounding Rob Pelinka's next move, we have a huge update surrounding two particular players. We're going to break that down and discuss what this means going forward as something huge is brewing. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, this is the place to be for daily Lakers content. Your guys' support has been truly unbelievable. You've been absolute beasts with the support. We are on the road to the big goal of 25,000 subscribers into the bigger goal of 30,000. So if you can hit that subscribe button, it would mean the world, folks. A lot to go over today, and things have taken a turn. There are moves starting to happen around the league. We saw the Norman Powell trade yesterday. We've seen some weird Kelly Olynyk trades to the Spurs, today. But what matters most to us Lakers fans is what move is next, and we have a plethora of things to go over. You're also going to want to stay tuned to the end because we have some interesting comments from DeAndre Ayton as well on joining the Lakers. But let's start with this first of all. Now, this is going to give some context here because, of course, we all know, and there was a report, a week or two ago, and I covered it, that the Lakers were front runners and all expect the Lakers to land DeAnthony Melton, and things have taken a turn. But let's start with this here. This came out last night from Eric Pincus into some new reports that dropped just moments ago. Eric Pincus predicts that Bradley Beal will sign a 2-year deal with the Lakers, and that's what he expected, which is very, very interesting because we know that the Heat, Lakers, Clippers, Warriors, Bucks are expected to show interest in Bradley Beal. And there's been numerous reports as of late that the Beal situation, I believe, is coming to a close today into tomorrow surrounding the buyout. And now Eric Pincus's article has Bradley Beal going to the Lakers, and he linked Bradley Beal to the Lakers as well. And of course, you look into what the actual, report is, but this is a very interesting 2-year deal. So here's what the report says. Phoenix Suns, of course, they're talking about how, Bradley Beal's $50 million salary. This starts with the assumption that Beal and the Suns reach a buyout agreement, which is expected to happen, especially as of tonight. It might not necessarily happen tonight, but of course, that is the league-wide expectation at this point as of the time of recording. Of course, and you can see here, NBA Buzz suggests this is the inevitable outcome as of July 8th, given the 32-year-old has a no-trade clause and an expensive, difficult-to-move contract. While Beal has been, really bad in his stint, essentially, with the Suns, he still averaged, like I've been mentioning, 17 points a game and 39% from the field, while shooting, 38.6% from the field. I believe he means he's shooting 38.6% from three. I believe that's a, typo there. He's been shooting a lot better than that from the field. But regardless, you can see this here in the prediction. The Lakers are close to Phoenix. Perhaps Beal ends up in a 2-year deal, player option in the second year, and if not, Miami. There's been a lot of rumblings lately as well tonight about the Clippers, and now the Clippers could have, surpassed them as favorites. Now, I want you to let me know down below in the comment section, do you want to see Bradley Beal on the Lakers? Because the reason that I ask that is because, of course, we know how good he has the capability to be, but at the same time, they need defensive-minded players, and I'm not sitting here and saying that Bradley Beal, isn't good, offensively, absolutely very good, too elite in his prime. But I'm also not saying that the Lakers couldn't benefit from a guy like Bradley Beal on this team simply because of the fact that I know everyone's talking about defense, all these different things, which is very much a priority. And hopefully Rob Pelinka will get in the phone here in the Vegas Summer League, all these different things and make some moves. But that bench is really bad, and they have absolutely minimal scoring. You could argue that, Jake LaRavia is going to be their scorer off the bench. You could argue, maybe Dalton Knecht takes a step forward, but you need more offensive firepower, and that's what Bradley Beal brings. I think that's why Eric Pincus has predicted him to go to the Lakers. Now, within this article, you can see here, he had a fuel with Beal to the Lakers, but he also, within that article, threw cold water on DeAndre Melton to the Lakers, and it seems at this point now, despite what we all thought, DeAnthony Melton is not going to be, at least at this point, favorites to land Melton. His prediction was one of several could be a target for the Warriors. Some of the buzz linking him to the Lakers has died down in recent weeks. And not only that, a report that dropped just a few hours ago from Mark Stein says that he expects the Warriors to land DeAnthony Melton in a reunion there. And if you've been watching my DeAnthony Melton videos here on the channel, he, of course, was a Warrior for 6 games last year, started 2 of them, had a really good 6 games, of course, got injured, unfortunately. And it's good to see him healthy again. But it seems there was a lot of water thrown in the fire surrounding the Lakers landing DeAnthony Melton. For a while now, we all thought that was kind of going to be the case and how it makes a ton of sense. Trevor Lane even came out and said he was hearing the same thing, I believe, and how, they're not going to be going after Melton. It would be interesting. I would probably, in a nutshell, Beal is the better player than the Anthony Melton, whether you look at the career stats, whether you look at, just in a nutshell. But overall, for this team who has a lot of holes, right? I think DeAnthony Melton, although he's coming off of injury, and there's a lot of question marks surrounding Anthony Melton, will he be able to stay healthy? Of course, if the Lakers were able to, if they had more defensive pieces around, they would absolutely be able to prioritize a guy like Bradley Beal. And I still think they will prioritize Bradley Beal, but it's an interesting thought now. They almost changed, schemes here and going after Beal instead of Melton, or at least that's what it seems like at this point. And it makes me question, Rob Pelinka's strategy because, again, this team needs defense. And let me know down below, who would you prefer, Beal or Melton? Just let me know in a nutshell. Let's say they're both on the league minimum, just for sake of argument here. And we know that they are pretty close to the apron. Their tax threshold 187.8. Of course, you have free agents who are going to be leaving, but that bench, it's really, really bad. Now, you can see here, people are starting to hate on the bench a little bit. Gabe, Dalton, Laravia, Vando, Jackson Hayes, the worst bench in the league. I don't know if I would go that far necessarily, but it's really not good. Like, the scoring upside you have here is very minimal. Vando, no scoring. Jackson Hayes, no scoring. Dalton Knecht, if he's hot, has scoring. Otherwise, a bit iffy. Gabe Vincent, not much scoring at all, especially, compared to what we saw in Miami. And, of course, what we saw even last year wasn't very good. Jake Laravia, 6 points a game. But, again, he has the scoring capability. I think that was their hope with the Jake Laravia acquisition, was to, hey, grab a guy who can help score off the bench and really have an increased role. And based on his comments today, Jake Laravia wants an increased role. And that's one of the reasons that he joined LA. So, yes, that makes sense. But, man, oh, man, they need defense really, really badly. And you look at some of the free agents that are still available. Of course, Josh Giddey, restricted free agent. CP3, don't think so. Malcolm Brogdon, I know a lot of you guys in the comments of that video, didn't really want him. He's a defensive-minded point guard. I don't hate it, but either way, like, no one else here is necessarily super likely. I had a video on Quentin Grimes. I think Quentin Grimes makes some sense. That would be a trade. Gary Payton II, very good defensively. Maybe they take a shot on him, but like, out of the guys available, Beal, who's going to be bought out, and then of course, DeAnthony Melton. Melton was my number one target. Now, that's not to say that the Lakers can't make some big moves, because you look at all the salaries that they have together. You have $43.7 million in expiring contracts, plus a 2031 first-round pick, plus Dalton Knecht, plus 3 first-round pick swaps, plus, hopefully, teams that are willing to make moves. Rob Pelinka should be extremely active, and it is concerning that he is not active yet, and that he let, in theory, from what we're hearing now, DeAnthony Melton walk to the Warriors. It doesn't make a ton of sense. Now, maybe he wanted to return to, Golden State after all. He's been there before, and after all this, at the end of the day, he's a free agent. It's up to him. But I don't like the direction that it's going right now. I don't prefer Beal over Melton, given this team structure, and I unfortunately definitely don't love the idea of, Bradley Beal being the only move, because I don't think it moves the needle enough. You need a defender. Even a guy like Matisse Thybulle, Gary Payton Jr., like all these different guys are extremely good defenders. The Lakers have none. Like, you could argue they don't have a single elite defender on their roster. And the more you look through, like Doncic, there's no one in the starting lineup is an elite defender. On the bench, no one there aside from, you could argue Jared Vanderbilt is an elite defender, but Vando's offensive game is just too bad to actually play him 30, 35 minutes a game. Similar to Matisse Thybulle, but Thybulle's a better shooter. So let me know down below what your thoughts are on this and how you're currently feeling about this team. But things have taken an interesting turn. But on the positive note, we'll have another video coming covering the rest of the comments, rather. Ayton spoke out in his new teammate Luka Doncic, hearing about the kind of shape he's in. He's super ripped, and I'm finally glad to be on his side. So throwing some more smoke on the fire surrounding Luka Doncic and his elite conditioning. Like, I think the team is going to be very good. And I know this is more of like, not a negative video, but, calling out Rob Pelinka, like, you need to be better. But I love the acquisition of DeAndre Ayton. I've been on that train the whole time. I think him and Luka are going to be dominant. I think people are only now starting to realize it. And if Luka's in elite shape, maybe he can be someone who is a capable enough defender. But man, oh man, to hear them reportedly miss out on DeAnthony Melton. Again, it's not confirmed that he's leaving for the Warriors, but Mark Stein basically all but confirmed it. And of course, Bradley Beal, smoke's picking up there. But that'll wrap it up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are. Things are really starting to escalate, folks. Keep you up to date every step of the way. Thank you guys for watching. You guys are beasts. Cheers.